Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you, and welcome back to another taste test. Today, I'm going to be tasting a series of self-heating meals. So these meals are pre-cooked and they will heat themselves. I don't need to put them in the oven. I don't need to put them in the microwave. They will heat themselves using a chemical exothermic reaction. So these meals would be perfect if you don't have access to electricity, appliances. I believe we add some water to these. Sometimes these contain their own little packet of salt water or water. So perhaps you don't even need water to eat them. And I am just very curious about them. The first time I've tasted one of these was a few years ago, and it was a self-heating hot pot. I'll put a link to that video down below. Actually, the very first time I've tried a self-heating meal was in an MRE. Now, if you're not familiar with my ration taste test, again, I'll put a link to those videos down below. The US MRE meals ready to eat are given to officers, and they contain a flameless ration heater, which uses the same technology as these meals. It has a little packet of some kind of alloy. You add a bit of water to it, and it creates this exothermic or heat reaction, and you put your meal in there as well, and it will heat your meal as well. But everything is pre-cooked, so you could eat these cold as well. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. I've never tasted any of these meals. These three that I found are products from China, and they are not hot pots. This looks like a Korean style kimchi bibimbap self-heating rice, and this one is another kind of rice, but this is like a clay pot rice. And this one is a potato dish, which I thought might be interesting. So let's try the biggest one first. Look at the size of this bowl. It is enormous. Here is the front, and this is Jinghaoju Kimchi-style Bibimbap self-heating rice. Wow, look at that. So it looks like a kind of like a clay pot. Pretty sturdy plastic, kind of a silvery sheen to it. And sure enough, inside the band are the instructions, written in both Chinese and English. So let's open this up. Nifty. So at the very top, there's a little slit for the steam to escape, I believe. And inside, we have our water. This might be saline water. Might be a little bit of salt in there. Our rice. And this looks like it might be the entree. And inside, we have an aluminum bowl. So this is metal. Wow. Look down here. There's a bunch of stuff. I don't know what these items are, because I cannot read Chinese, but lots of items. Oh my goodness, look. This feels like it might be utensils. Some oil. And at the bottom is our heater. And even if you can't read Chinese, this is pretty universal here, saying, "This is not food, do not eat me." Okay, so put all the ingredients into the aluminum bowl. Number one, are these numbered? They're not numbered. Why aren't they numbered? This is numbered here, 1, 2, 3, but the packets are not numbered, so that makes it a little bit more complicated. Instant rice. Ooh, look at that. So this must be pre-cooked. It's kind of translucent. Drinking water, pre-measured. Great. Now we're gonna add the vegetables. Oh, it smells like canned veggies. We've got carrots, mushrooms, corn. I think here are my utensils. Yes, look at this. Utensils, little napkin, spoon. Look at this. Oh, they're bamboo. They're wooden chopsticks that you assemble. I've had chopsticks before that are plastic like this, but these are made out of actual wood. I'm very happy about that. You just insert the two pieces together, and we have a chopstick. Now, add the heating packet into there. Cold water to the fill line. Then I put this on top. Look at that. And then the lid. So we close this little self-contained package and let it cook for 15 minutes. And then the rest of this we will add as we're eating. Here it goes. Listen. Next, let's try the fried potato. This is made by a different company, Emmymade Foods. Ooh, look at that. Lots of options. This too has the two-tiered system. A cooking system. Whoa. Wow, look at the potato. The other cooker, this is a two-tiered system. So we have the cooking area and the heating area. Ha ha ha, more goodies. Ooh, this looks spicy. Look at that. And then we have seasoning. Looks like pickles maybe, or garlic. Sauce, dried seasoned veggies, and then our potatoes. So first thing we'll do is we'll put the heater in the bottom pack. And then in here, we'll add all of our ingredients. Our potatoes, so our seasonings, sauce. I have to say it's fun opening all the packages. And then our chili oil. Ooh, I think this is gonna be spicy. Okay. Oh, I wish it would all, okay, come out nicely. There we go. Adding the water. Then we'll add this right on top. Look at that. And then we'll put the lid on. And this too, 8 to 15 minutes. Next, let's try this one. This is made by the same company, Jinghiaozhou. And I will also include how much these meals cost as well. So this one is pickled vegetable and edamame, bamboo shoots, clay pot, rice, self-heating pot. Similar design, we have the water. Oh, this time they give you a spork. Aluminum base, the entree, the heating unit. So put the heating unit in the bottom. Rice, pre-measured water, and the flavoring, seasoning, vegetables. Ooh, it smells good. It smells sesame oil. Look at that. Oh, that looks great. Pickled vegetables. Looks like there's some beans in there. Edamame beans. Okay, look at that. Stir that a little bit. And then we're gonna water to the fill line. Then pop this right on top. And then put this right on top. And this one cooks for 8 minutes. Alrighty, so we still have 5 more minutes left on the first entree. And once that's done, we can give it a taste. I cannot wait. Can you hear it? It's pretty noisy. Alrighty, so while our meals are cooking, I want to share with you some exciting news. I am now on Roku. I have a show called Eats by emmymade on Roku channel Hello Inspo, and that's channel number 454. Yeah, so come and join me and check out some food recipes and things that I enjoy in the kitchen. Alrighty, my lovelies, the first meal we cooked is ready. This is the Korean-style Bibimbap style rice. Careful of the steam. Oops, there's a vent here, so don't put your hand in front of that vent. They should design that or tell you otherwise. Okay. Ooh, look at that. That looks pretty attractive. So let's drizzle on the sauce. Okay, this is like the gochujang. And the sesame oil. Delicious. Kimchi. And nori. Yo, this looks great, right? I have to say, I really like this presentation. It makes it feel more special, and this bottom part of the warmer is still warm, so it keeps my meal warm. When you have bibimbap, you're supposed to mix everything. Alrighty, that's pretty well mixed. Itadakimasu. It doesn't taste exactly like bibimbap that I've had. Ooh, I think if it had a fried egg on top, it'd be fantastic. But it's pretty good. The rice is a little bit different too. The rice is kind of fluffy and tender. It's not sticky and chewy, which I really enjoy. But everything is really nicely heated, like heated all the way through and just piping hot. I think that's one of my biggest criticisms of US MREs in particular. The ration heater doesn't get hot enough to really thoroughly heat up your meal, but this is totally piping hot. There's lots of different textures here. It's not just mushy. You've got the crunch from the vegetables, the kimchi. Adds a nice little piquant sourness to it. It's spicy and not too spicy. Not a traditional Korean bibimbap, but a nice, instant, hearty, minimal effort meal. And perfect for an office, or if you're going to work. You could also eat this at your desk. I know a lot of people poo-poo that. Or if you're in a college dorm or something like that, this would be great. You don't need any kind of appliance or power for that matter. And have a nice piping hot meal. Not bad. Pretty good. Oh, I didn't use my chopsticks. That's okay. I'll use them for the next thing. Man. Okay. Next, let's try the potatoes. I'm very curious to see how these turned out. Okay, again, when opening this, be careful of the steam. Whoa. Potatoes. We're gonna give those a thorough stir. I can definitely smell like Sichuan, Sichuan spice in that. Kind of a licoricey spice as well. Look at that. Piping hot. Alrighty, let's give our potatoes a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. I'm not a big fan of the flavors going on there. And maybe it's because I have a bias against kind of licoricey, anisey flavors, but this has a lot of licorice, anise. It's a little bit sweet, and the potatoes are not tender, just kind of crunchy. It's a little bit like chili crisp, a little bit sweet, and basil. Not a combination I really care for too much, but it does look pretty nice. Yeah, this one's not my favorite. Maybe if the potatoes got crisper and they were buttery and soft in the middle, it would be more towards my liking. Wouldn't recommend that one. Lastly, let's try this one. This is supposed to be like a vegetable clay pot. And again, be careful when opening. Oof, look at that. Doo-doo-doo. Let me use the spork provided. And again, this time the rice is just like the first one, well cooked, not mushy. All right, let me show you a close-up on this one. This is pickled vegetable edamame clay pot. Not bad. Alrighty, let's give this a taste. Here we are. Itadakimasu. Ooh, I like that one too. Not soggy, but there's not a lot of bite to it either. It's kind of like Uncle Ben's, kind of like that converted rice a little bit, but a little bit more tender. This one's oilier too. I like the vegetables in this. They're very well cooked and tender, but there's a little bit of kind of tanginess, a little bit of tartness to it, I guess because they're pickled, and there's a little bit of chili heat. Very, very simple, kind of humble meal, very generous quantity of food as well. Hear that? Nice kind of cooked vegetable crunch along with a soft, fluffy, yet slightly oily rice. And then you have edamame beans in there that are well cooked, so they're very tender. They're not hard at all. And I think the spork is the perfect way to eat this, although the handle's a little short. Nice, I like that. That and the first bibimbap rice I would purchase again. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. 3 self-heating meals that don't require any energy whatsoever. It just uses a beautiful exothermic reaction, water reacting with some sort of, usually a metal alloy or some sort of chemical, to create this heat, and it heats up your food and your meal. It's really wonderful. So one other thing I almost forgot to mention is that there's no chemical smell. Whenever I make a US MRE, I make sure to do it either outside or to have the windows completely open, because it does off-gas a kind of chemical smell. But none of these did. They just made a lot of fun percolating sounds and made a really nice hot meal. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Now it's time to search for a hydrating beverage. Is that redundant? Aren't all beverages hydrating?